Welcome you all class 11th in Classroom Notes by Rekha Jain. And today I am taking the chapter number 4 of your on-bill, The Landscape of the Soul by Natalie Kruger-Roy. Before I start taking the chapter, let me once again remind you to subscribe my channel if you have not yet done, and do press the share icon so that this video reaches to a majority of the students, and don't forget to push the notification icon so that you receive my latest videos. This chapter has been simplified in a summary form and word meanings are given by the side. Exercises will be done in the next video. So let us start the chapter. First of all, let me introduce you with what is given in the chapter by the author. Actually, in this chapter, the author has differentiated between the two forms of arts. One is Chinese art and another is European art. The chapter is divided into two stories, and these two stories of two art forms draw a contrast with each other. The European art is descriptive, in which artist wants the viewers to see exactly what he wants them to see. That means he just describes them in his painting. Whereas the Chinese art is the inner voice of the artist, where you can travel from any point to explore it. That means the description of the painting is left upon the onlookers, upon the viewers. So here starts the summary. The above concepts are described with the help of different stories. What happened once in China during the 18th century, Emperor Xuanzong ordered a painter Wu Deozi to decorate a wall of his palace. Now Wu Deozi, who was a painter, who was very famous painter, when he completed the painting, he called the emperor to show his painting, and in order to show him, he entered into a cave, and that cave was painted in his painting. The moment the painter entered in the cave, ironically the entrance of the cave closed behind him, and when the painter clapped his hands, the painting disappeared, and so was the painter. So this is the spirituality. The painting shows the spirituality in Chinese literature. Another story which deals in European paintings, the painter would not draw the eye of a dragon in his painting because he was afraid it would fly. That is a perfect piece of painting, and that puts the viewers into illusion. The onlookers take that painting as real. In another story of European art, a master blacksmith fell in love with the daughter of a famous painter. Now see how interesting is this story, dear students. Since the affair would never be approved due to the status gap, because the painter was very famous and his daughter fell in love with a blacksmith, and you know blacksmith's profession is very low in front of a painter. So their marriage would never be approved, and that is why the blacksmith thought of a plan to impress the painter, to convince the painter. And the plan was like this: the blacksmith secretly entered into the painter's studio and painted a fly on the latest painting, and this painting was being done by the famous painter. Now next day, when the painter tried to shoo that fly away, and this fly was painted by whom? This fly was painted by the blacksmith secretly. When the painter tried to shoo it away, taking it as real fly, he was much impressed because he immediately understood He had not drawn this fly. Then on inquiry, when he came to know the hand behind that fly, means whoever drew that painting, that fly, he was much impressed and got ready to marry his daughter with blacksmith. So these two stories clearly depict the perfection in European paintings. So in European art, an artist wants the viewer to see a real viewpoint by borrowing his eyes. His here refers to painter's eyes. They are the masterpieces of perfection and illusion. What are the masterpieces of perfection and illusion? The paintings created by the European painters. On the opposite of it, Chinese paintings are spiritual ones, creating an abstract piece, which is not clear, and everything is left onto the onlooker, viewer. How does he interpret the painting? The viewer can enter the painting from any point and can travel according to his own choice. Now this is further elaborated, this further cleared with the concept which is called San Shui. It means mountain and water. Mountain is yang in China. In Chinese concept, mountain is yang and it reaches towards heaven, stands vertical, and it is stable, warm and dry in the sun. Whereas the water is yin, which is horizontal and resting on the earth, and fluid, moist and cool. So we can see the qualities of yin and yang are in contrast with each other. Now the interaction of yang and yin. Now so far we have come to know that yang is male counterpart, masculine, whereas yin is feminine, qualities of a female. So interaction of yang and yin is a fundamental notion of Taoism. An essential third element between these two, yang and yin, is the middle void, and this is often overlooked. That means no one pays attention towards it, and this is very important. Why? Because the interaction between yin and yang happens here, and this is unpainted void white space in the Chinese painting, and this void and white space gives the provision to interact and to infer according to the onlookers. Here man finds a fundamental role between heaven and earth. This void is compared to the man, and just like there is an empty space between heaven and earth, that empty space is filled by man. Why? Because he becomes the conduit of the communication between both poles of the universe, heaven and earth. Man becomes the means of communication. Now start the second part of the chapter, and here author has described the another concept, and that is outsider art and art bread or raw art. Now these people, there are some people who have not received any formal training. Why? Still they are called the artists, they are called the painters. Why? Because they are naturally gifted. And this theory of art bread or raw art was propagated by the French painter Jean Dubuffet in 1940. Art bread or raw art is made by people who are not professionally trained, but they create an art piece with their insight. And the live example before us was Nate Chand, who created the rock garden in Chandigarh, and he was an untutored genius. Untutored here means untrained. He was not trained by anyone. still he was a genius in the field of art. He was then 80 years old who created the world famous rock garden in Chandigarh, and surprisingly he used everything from tin to zinc or to other whatever the things of waste material he has used. And one of his famous creations is a scene of women by waterfall. And now see, this became so famous that the recently released 50th scene, and scene was given the name Spring 2005 of Raw Vision. This Raw Vision is the name of a magazine, and this magazine is of UK. So this scene was featured over the front page of the magazine with Nek Chand and his rock garden sculpture Women by Waterfall on its anniversary issue cover. So this was the honor given by this magazine, Raw Vision. This was a UK based magazine. Another honor given by to Nek Chand by Swiss Commission for UNESCO, who organized a European exhibition in 2005 on Nek Chand's works of art, and it was shown in other European countries also. So we have come to know that by the dint of his talent, Nek Chand earned worldwide recognition, and he was a genius in the field of raw art. So dear students, this was all in today's video. We will meet again in my next video. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and fight the coronavirus disease. Bye bye.